The movie begins in an interrogation room. Jack, a seasoned and tough police detective, sits across from internal affairs investigators. He looks exhausted, carrying the heavy weight of guilt. He is being questioned about his latest mission, a mission that ended in an absolute bloodbath. Jack begins to explain how everything went wrong. He recounts a raid on a heavily armed gangster hideout. Despite his experience in tactical planning, the situation quickly spiraled out of control. The gangsters were waiting for them, armed to the teeth. A brutal firefight erupted, and the air was filled with flying lead. In the chaos, Jack's entire squad was mercilessly gunned down. Jack was the sole survivor, barely escaping with his life, leaving him with deep psychological scars and a tarnished reputation within the department. Following the grueling internal investigation, Jack is reluctantly cleared for duty and returns to his work as a detective, though the shadows of his dead colleagues still haunt him to cope with his stress. Jack stops at a local bar after a long shift. As he nurses his drink, a group of rowdy young men bursts into the bar. One of these men, named Oliver, approaches Jack. Oliver is charismatic, smooth-talking, and unnervingly confident. He strikes up a seemingly friendly conversation with Jack. As they chat, Jack's partner sends a message, and Jack is prepared to leave the bar, thinking Oliver is just an overly friendly guy. Jack makes the mistake of giving him his phone number. To seal their new friendship, Oliver proposes a toast. As they clink their glasses, Oliver forcefully shatters the glass in Jack's hand, causing a deep cut. Jack recoils in pain. Suddenly, a wave of extreme dizziness washes over him. Realizing he has been drugged, Jack stumbles toward the restroom, desperately trying to wash his bleeding hand and clear his head. But the drug is too powerful. Oliver casually strolls into the restroom, smiling down at a helpless Jack. Jack tries to speak, but his vision blurs and his legs give out. He collapses onto the bathroom floor, completely unconscious. Sometime later, Jack is jolted awake by the bar owner. He pulls himself up from the cold tile floor, his mind groggy and confused. He splashes cold water on his face at the sink. As he reaches for a paper towel, he notices a few drops of blood on the porcelain. He looks down at his waist. His shirt has been torn open, and his holster is empty. His service pistol is gone. The realization hits him like a freight train. This wasn't a random mugging. Oliver targeted him specifically. Jack immediately instructs the bar owner to call him the second those men return, then heads home, furious and humiliated. The next morning, Jack retrieves a backup weapon. Before heading to the precinct, he makes a detour to the cemetery to visit his mother's grave. There he meets his father. They share a quiet, somber conversation about the past. A brief moment of humanity before Jack dives back into the darkness of his job. Meanwhile, we cut to Oliver. He is alone, carefully inspecting and admiring Jack's stolen police pistol, hinting at a much more sinister plan. At the police station, where Jack tries to focus on his daily tasks, but he is fixated on finding Oliver. He remembers a crucial detail from their bar conversation. Oliver mentioned an ex-wife, so Jack does some digging and discovers her workplace, a local dance club. He visits the club and finds Jessica, Oliver's ex-wife. Jack approaches her, hoping to gather intelligence on the man who drugged him. However, Jessica is extremely guarded and refuses to share any information about her past. Luckily for Jack, fate intervenes. When Jessica tries to leave, her car breaks down in the parking lot. Seeing an opportunity, Jack steps in and uses his mechanical skills to fix her engine. While he works under the hood, he gently presses her for information. Grateful for the help, Jessica finally opens up. She describes Oliver's dark, twisted nature. She reveals his true name, Rock. Jack is stunned by this revelation and demands to know the connection between Oliver and her ex-husband. Jessica is reluctant to answer and tries to get back in her car to flee, but the car still isn't running perfectly. Jack insists on driving her home to ensure her safety. During the drive, as a form of repayment, Jessica unloads the horrifying truth. She tells Jack about Oliver's deeply disturbing psychotic behavior, painting a picture of a highly intelligent but utterly unhinged sociopath who enjoys playing sick games with people's lives. After dropping Jessica off, Jack returns to the precinct. His fellow officers invite him out for a night of drinking to blow off steam. Jack, needing a distraction, agrees and joins them. While Jack is out partying, his precinct is left vulnerable. Oliver, disguised in a janitor's uniform, easily infiltrates the police station. He slips into the police chief's office and begins rummaging through highly classified files. Specifically, he steals old case files that are directly related to Jack's past. Later that night, as Jack is heading home, he spots a familiar figure watching him from a distance. It's Oliver. Jack immediately gives chase. He spots Oliver preparing to drive away. Jack intercepts him, drawing his weapon, demanding his stolen service pistol back. But Oliver is unfazed. He taunts Jack, mentioning highly sensitive details from Jack's past cases, information that only a few people in the department should know. Realizing Oliver has access to police intel, Jack lunges forward to arrest him. But Oliver hits the gas and speeds away into the night. Desperate for a lead, Jack returns to the bar where they first met. He remembers the wine glass Oliver was drinking from. He carefully retrieves the glass, hoping to pull a clean fingerprint to identify the Phantom Menace. We then cut to a shocking scene of violence. Oliver, armed with Jack's stolen gun, breaks into the home of a police officer named Joe. Oliver brutally beats Joe to a bloody pulp. He then forces the battered officer to sign a fabricated document, a document designed to permanently ruin Jack's career and frame him for corruption. Once the signature is secured, Oliver coldly executes Joe with Jack's gun. The next day, psychological warfare continues. Oliver calls Jack directly at the precinct. In a chilling, mocking tone, Oliver hints that he has just murdered a cop. Jack's blood runs cold. Just then, a female colleague, Carla, enters Jack's office. Jack quickly motions for her to trace the call. He pretends to engage in a casual conversation with Oliver to keep him on the line. But Oliver is too smart, so he senses the change in Jack's tone, realizes the trace is on, and abruptly hangs up. Following the breadcrumbs, Jack arrives at the crime scene where Joe was murdered. He spots a pen lying near the body, a crucial piece of evidence that he hands over to the forensics team. Jack briefs the police chief on the situation, but the chief is losing patience. "We can't afford any more missteps," the chief warns, placing immense pressure on Jack to resolve this quietly and quickly. Meanwhile, Jessica wakes up in her apartment to a terrifying sight. Hanging from her ceiling fan is her own bra. It's a message. Oliver was in her bedroom while she slept. Panicked and in tears, Jessica rushes to the police station. She begs Jack for protection, hysterically explaining that her psychotic ex-husband has found her. She demands that Jack arrest him immediately. But Jack's hands are tied by protocol. He calmly explains that without concrete proof of a crime, he cannot just arrest a man based on a hanging piece of clothing. Frustrated and feeling betrayed by the system, Jessica angrily throws the bra at Jack and storms out of the precinct, leaving Jack feeling helpless. Shortly after, the police chief summons Jack to his office. The chief drops a bombshell. Someone broke in and stole confidential case files specifically. The files related to Jack. Jack is bewildered. He cannot comprehend why Oliver is so obsessed with his past. Knowing that Oliver is escalating his attacks, Jack becomes deeply concerned for Jessica's safety. He drives to her workplace to warn her. Jessica is in the middle of her shift, so she tells him to meet her outside at 11 p.m. Jack waits in his car outside the club. However, Jessica gets held up at work. Instead, her friend Sandy comes out. Jack, wanting to ensure at least one person is safe, offers to give Sandy a ride home. Sandy arrives at her apartment, completely unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Oliver's waiting inside. As soon as she closes the door, Oliver steps out and brutally strangles her to death. When Jack and Jessica arrive at the apartment later, they find Sandy's lifeless body sprawled on the bed. Jessica is thrown into a state of shock, realizing that Oliver killed her friend just to send a message. Jack immediately calls it in. When the crime scene investigators arrive, a female officer suggests that since Jessica has no family to protect her, she should stay at Jack's house for the night. Jack agrees, taking the traumatized woman home. Neither of them can sleep. In the quiet hours of the night, Jack opens up to Jessica. He explains his theory that all these events are connected. He tells her the tragic story of his mother's unsolved murder. Suspecting that Oliver might somehow be involved in his deepest trauma, unbeknownst to them, Oliver is sitting comfortably in his own hideout, watching the stolen surveillance videos from Jack's case files as if he were watching a movie. He makes a quick, taunting phone call to Jack, a warning that Jack fails to fully grasp in the moment. The next morning, armed with an address provided by Jessica, Jack takes action. He drives to Oliver's house. He waits outside and intercepts Oliver's car as he tries to leave. With his gun drawn, Jack arrests the mastermind. Back at the precinct, Jack thinks he finally has the upper hand. But Oliver is a master manipulator. In the interrogation room, Oliver acts like an innocent, confused citizen. He dodges every question with frustrating ease. His criminal record is spotless. Desperate, the police hook Oliver up to a polygraph lie detector machine. This is where Oliver's true psychotic genius shines. Even hooked up to the machine, his acting is flawless. His heart rate remains steady. He doesn't just pass the test. He turns the tables. During the questioning, Oliver spins a masterful web of lies, accusing Jack of being a corrupt, unstable cop who is harassing an innocent man. He uses the stolen information to paint Jack as the real villain, the polygraph confirms. Oliver is telling the truth. He believes his own lies so completely that the machine cannot detect deception. The department is baffled. With no hard evidence and a past lie detector test, they are forced to release Oliver as Oliver walks out of the interrogation room. He leans in close to a seething Jack and whispers, "Catch me if you can." Jack snaps. He lunges at Oliver, punching him in the face right in the middle of the precinct. Other officers rush in to pull Jack off. Oliver, bleeding but victorious, yells at the police chief, demanding Jack's immediate arrest and threatening massive lawsuits against the department. To protect the precinct from a public relations disaster and to keep Jack out of jail, the chief makes a hard decision. He demands Jack's badge and his gun. Jack is officially suspended from the force, stripped of his authority. Jack turns to his loyal female partner, Carla, for help. He brings Jessica to her and begs her to keep Jessica safe while he finishes this on his own. Now operating outside the law, Jack drives back to Oliver's house and breaks in. He stealthily searches the premises, looking for his stolen case files to prove his innocence. He doesn't find the files, but he finds something better, a piece of paper with an address written on it. Jack pockets the address and quickly escapes the house. However, Oliver hears the disturbance. He looks out the window and spots Jack running away. Jack drives to the address he found. On the way, he picks up his father. He hands his father an old photograph he took from Oliver's house and asks if he recognizes the people in it. His father looks at the photo and pales. He knows exactly who they are. He explains that the child in the photo was a brilliant but deeply disturbed boy, born into immense wealth. The boy's parents were brutally murdered, leaving the child to inherit millions. And then the father drops the final, devastating piece of the puzzle. He confirms that this same boy Oliver is the one who murdered Jack's mother years ago. The vendetta is deeply personal. While Jack is learning the truth, Oliver has tracked down Jessica's location. He arrives at the safe house where Carla is guarding her. Before anyone notices, he disables the security and breaks down the front door. After dropping his father off, Jack arms himself with his father's old revolver and speeds toward the safe house to protect Jessica. Inside the house, Oliver creeps through the silent hallways, hunting his ex-wife. Jessica is in the bathroom, completely unaware of the danger, taking a shower. Carla, the police officer assigned to protect her, senses that something is wrong. She begins to investigate the house. Hearing a noise downstairs, Jessica steps out of the shower. Panic sets in. She grabs the tools as a weapon from the floor, preparing to fight for her life. Downstairs, Carla sees a figure approaching the front door. She draws her weapon, ready to shoot the intruder. When she go outside, she'll see Jack and aim her gun to Jack. So he quickly explains the situation, convincing her to trust him. Upstairs, Oliver opened the door. He has found Jessica and trying to kill her. Just in the nick of time, Jack and Carla burst into the upstairs hallway. Jack spots Jessica and tries to pull her to safety, but Oliver steps out from the shadows, aiming his weapon at both of them. Before Oliver can pull the trigger, Carla steps into view and fires her weapon. The bullet strikes Oliver squarely in the chest. The impact throws him backward, and he crashes through the second-story glass window, plummeting toward the ground. Miraculously, Oliver lands on the roof of a parked car, breaking his fall. Though severely injured, he refuses to die. He scrambles off the car and runs down the street. Jack races down the stairs and out the front door, chasing the killer. Oliver flags down a passing motorist. Without hesitation, he pulls out tie driver, shoots the innocent driver, and steals the car. Jack fires at the fleeing vehicle, but Oliver speeds away into the city. Jack jumps into his own car. He turns the key, but the engine sputters. For a terrifying second, the car won't start. Oliver, realizing he has the upper hand, spins his stolen car around. He accelerates, driving straight toward Jack, firing his gun out the window. Jack ducks below the dashboard as bullets shatter his windshield. Finally, Jack's engine roars to life. He hits the gas and tears after Oliver. A high-speed, deadly car chase ensues through the city streets, with both men exchanging gunfire. The chase ends when Oliver loses control. He crashes the stolen car violently through the glass storefront of a large supermarket. Jack pulls up outside the shattered store. He steps out, revolver drawn, and slowly walks inside the wreckage. Oliver is trapped, but he isn't finished. He grabs a terrified civilian, holding a gun to their head, using them as a human shield. He taunts Jack, knowing the cop can't risk shooting an innocent person. But Jack isn't playing by the rules anymore. He acts defeated. He slowly lowers his gun, pretending to surrender. Oliver's guard drops for a fraction of a second. In a flash of lightning-fast reflexes, Jack raises the revolver and fires a single, perfect shot. The bullet hits Oliver directly in the forehead. The killer drops dead instantly. The civilian runs away unharmed. The sirens of approaching police cars wail in the distance. The complex, deadly game of cat and mouse is finally over. Jack picks up the gun from Oliver, and the movie is end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this recap, please keep in touch. See you in next movie.